All right, everybody. Let's give this just a minute to get everything rolling here. I'm having a couple of issues right now, actually, with the live stream setup. So I'm actually going to pull it up on my phone here and make sure that we are working. Um, Everything's supposed to work off of these remote cameras, and the internet at the hotel here is garbage. So I'm not able to really monitor them right. So I've just reverted back to using a crappy web camera. Live stream setup. All right, and it is working, so great. Anyway, so we have a potential for some significant severe weather tomorrow, guys, and we're going to go ahead and go through that right now. Like I said, I'm using multiple different webcams. For example, right now I'm streaming from my phone to a server. The server is screen capturing it, throwing it onto an overlay, whatever. There's a lot of failure modes here. So bear with me here as we're testing this portable setup. And in a little bit, we're going to walk over to the gas station and get something to eat. So let me share this on social media real quick. Let me see here. Real quick, I just want to post this. All right. Okay, so we have a possible tornado event about to happen tomorrow in Wisconsin. In fact, I probably should I should have mentioned that, but this is for Minnesota, Iowa, and Wisconsin is our main area of concern. We've also got a little bit of a concern for severe weather today, and we're going to be going and talking about that here in just a minute. I see lots of people in the chat. Thanks for joining us. We're going to make this quick and brief, and then we're going to go get dinner at the gas station. Now, I'm going to go ahead and talk about what's going on right now. So let me pull up the Storm Prediction Center's website, and we will switch ourselves over to that quickly here. I don't know how to do that. Okay, that should have done it. So hopefully by the time you're hearing this, you can see my screen. Now we have a slight risk for severe weather today. I guess I should make sure that that's working. And we will switch. Fingers crossed, I'm monitoring on my phone here. I don't know how to do that. Please tell me it's working. Okay. It's not working. I should have done it. No, it is working. All right, look at that. Something's working. That is a first here. Things usually don't work. This yellow area, that's a slight risk for severe weather for today. And before we talk about tomorrow, we got to cover today. So I'm going to go ahead and give you just a general outline of what's going on here. That slight risk for severe weather with a severe thunderstorm watch in effect there for parts of Kansas and extreme southeastern Nebraska. There's also the remnants of a severe thunderstorm watch up north. We're going to switch over to radar Omega here and zoom in on some of these areas. And bear with me here. I actually have not set radar Omega up on this MacBook yet. So it's not necessarily optimized, but I am going to switch the map here real quick so we can see a little better contrast. I like the gray map. I think that shows everything the best. Okay, so if we go ahead and look here at this cell here, we've got a couple of storms down here near Omaha. This one specifically that's approaching Red Oak, Iowa, and southeast or southwestern Iowa. Let's zoom in on that. That's to the north of Melbourne, and it is severe thunderstorm warning. Now, this thing has 10 more minutes left in the severe thunderstorm warning. It's in effect until 9:15 p.m. That's Central Time for Mills County, Iowa. So at 9 p.m. again Central Time, a severe thunderstorm is located 3 miles to the southeast of Silver City, 17 miles east of the Offutt Air Force Base, moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. And this is just a general garden variety severe thunderstorm warning, a low end 60 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter size hail. We can see that storm right there. Let's switch over to velocity real quick and see what this thing has in it for wind. Now this is going to give us just a general idea here of where the strongest winds are in the storm. And you can see right here, just to the northeast of Melbourne, Iowa, that's where we've got the strongest wind right now. Supposedly 60 mile per hour winds. I'm not seeing very high radar returns on this. But along this line right here, is where the strongest winds are going to be, moving up toward Highway 59 right there. This thing's going to track off to the northeast. Let's zoom back out. I think that's our only severe thunderstorm warning right now. It is. There is another strong cluster of severe thunderstorms that's back here near Grand Island, Nebraska. That's going to approach cities and towns like York. Folks that are traveling along I-80 and north-south along 81, you guys are going to end up being tied up in this, but right now this is not a severe thunderstorm, just a strong thunderstorm, maybe 30, 40 mile an hour wind and some rain and lightning. And then, of course, also south of Lincoln, Nebraska, we've got another cluster of non-severe storms going up. And also up here, let me switch radar sites to the Des Moines site quick and let this load. We've got this broken line of showers and storms forming right here. I'm going to put that into motion for you. That stretches from that Red Oak, Iowa storm down near Omaha that I was talking about, the severe thunderstorm warning. That goes all the way up toward I-35 and Highway 20's intersection up there. Or I'm sorry, that's not 20. I think that's 30 or something, but whatever. Up there almost to the Minnesota border. And these storms are moving generally in the east-northeast direction. Now, these are the storms that I'm monitoring to potentially might have to go storm chase these in a little bit. We'll see. Let me show you where I am right now. Right now, I am in Waterloo, kind of. And this storm right here has my eye. It's moving off to the east-northeast. It's going to cross I-35 here in about 20 minutes or so. And if we zoom in on this, it's got a little bit of a kidney bean shape here, right here. Looks like a mini supercellular or mini supercell, maybe like a transient supercell. But regardless, this little guy right here, as it moves off to the east, northeast, could potentially gain some strength. I see it's got another shower or an updraft tower off there to its south. Maybe it'll ingest that. But we'll see if that thing can gain strength. That might be something that we need to take off and go take a look at, because we're not going to let a storm pass us by that's at that close of range. Anyway, thanks guys who are watching us in the YouTube app. I hope we're not going to Radar Omega right now. But thank you guys. I appreciate you joining me for this weather update. That's all I have for tonight's potential severe weather event. But first, actually, let's quick look at a short range model because there is a slight risk for severe weather in that area. Now we're going to talk about tomorrow. So using my favorite tool here, Radar Omega, we can actually switch over to the HRRR, which is a convective allowing model. And we're going to put this at the 0Z run. This model runs every single hour and does update. However, it is loading extremely, extremely slowly right now. So bear with me. This is primarily because of the terrible hotel Wi-Fi. I'm getting like 2 megabits a second down, if anything. Okay, and we are on the temperature. So we're going to switch over to composite reflectivity. This is basically a tool that shows us what the HRRR model thinks the radar will look like at a certain time. So if we go ahead and move this forward to 12 a.m., this is midnight. This is about 3 or 4 hours from now. You can see that the HRRR model is depicting 1, 2, 3 areas of possibly strong storms. And again, I am right here in Waterloo, Iowa tonight. My plan is to head either north and east or just northeast tomorrow for the potential severe weather event. But we need to keep an eye on these storms that are extending right through the heart of central Iowa here, I guess is what I'm saying. They're going to cross corridors like I-80 and I-35, impact areas like Omaha, Des Moines, Ames, eventually into Waterloo. And like I said, I'm not going to let us miss a storm here if it's just an hour or two away from our hotel. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out for that. So I'm going to go ahead real quick and show you tomorrow's severe weather event on top of the national radar composite. Give me just a second here. Like I said, I didn't get this optimized here for us or customized or set up or anything. We're basically using Radar Omega right out of the box. So we can see currently today's radar. So radar right now, those are those storms we're watching. But these colors, these are the severe weather outlooks for tomorrow from the Storm Prediction Center. And again, this is for tomorrow. You can see right here, the contrast is a little bit slim, but I'm outlining with my blue pen right here. We've got this enhanced risk for severe weather right in here. So much of Wisconsin. has a pretty good risk at seeing some large hail damaging winds and tornadoes tomorrow. We're going to break down those individual threats here in a moment. But as you can see, this dark green, this is a marginal risk for severe weather, a very quite a bit lower severe risk that extends for parts of Kansas, Missouri, all the way up into the Michigan and the UP of Michigan. So guys, there's a very large area of folks that can see severe weather tomorrow. But my primary concern is going to be right inside this area that I'm highlighting with my pen. The yellow and the orange, that's the slight and the enhanced. So we've got a level 2 out of 5 and a level 3 out of 5. Now, I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if we end up getting a level 4 or a moderate risk somewhere in Wisconsin. However, I don't know where that would be, and that's going to be up to the experts at the Storm Prediction Center. I'm not trying to cause panic, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get a focused area of severe weather here. Would probably be like wind-driven or hail-driven. I don't think we're going to see a tornado-driven moderate risk by any chance. But right now, like I said, take that with a grain of salt. But regardless, this enhanced risk of severe weather tomorrow is where we expect possibly some tornadoes. Now, before we dive into the details of that, we also have a slight risk for severe weather down here tomorrow. Guys, if you live in this yellow circle, Montgomery, Alabama, Dothan, Mobile, the Florida Peninsula, the Gulf Coast area, as well as all the way up into Atlanta, Central Georgia, and of course, if you're watching Don or Lily, Radar Omega headquarters, right there, using their cyclone port, which is right there, I think. Yeah, that's their cyclone port right there at Radar Omega HQ. They might observe a severe storm tomorrow. But guys, southern Alabama, extreme southeast Mississippi, the Florida Peninsula, or the Florida Panhandle, I apologize, Panhandle. And then, of course, lots of Georgia, you've got a potential for severe weather. Southern Alabama. Okay, just making sure we're still working. So, technology sucks. But anyway, we're going to dive up here. Let's quick look at the individual probabilities for tomorrow. So this is what you guys can expect. I'm going to make this as simple as possible because I know not everybody's a weather expert. But I know we have a lot of smart weather people here because that's just our audience. So we can see a couple of things here. I'm going to use my blue pen. Take that back. I'm going to use my pink pen to highlight or to notate here the tornado probabilities. Right here, these are all percentages. We have a 2%. The brown is a 5%. And this here, this is a 10%. So if you have a color on this map, guys, you have a possibility of seeing a tornado somewhere. We don't have that tornado risk down in the southeast. The tornado risk is confined to parts of Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and the UP of Michigan. Now, I will look at the chat here in a little bit and go and take questions and all that, but and a lot of people are asking. So if you live in the state of Wisconsin, you likely have a chance at seeing a strong tornado tomorrow. We'll talk about why that is in a minute, but we have a area here, this 10% yellow area has a notation on it for significant tornado potential, significant severe right here. Day 2 convective outlook, it's an blah, 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 whatever. We'll get back to that. Long story short, that's not what I was looking for, but this is an enhanced risk of severe weather, primarily tornado-driven, tornado and hail-driven with a secondary wind threat. But there's a possibility somewhere in this yellow circle that we could see maybe 1, 2, or 3 strong tornadoes. That's according to the Storm Prediction Center. Now, if you live in this brown area that basically outlines that, you've got a 5% risk, and then the green is 2. Now, the 2 and 5, those are relatively low, but this 10%, there's actually a pretty decent chance of seeing a tornado. Now, it's a little bit deceiving when we say 10%. That's a 10% chance of a tornado within 25 miles. It might be 50. 25 or 50 miles of any given point. So if we pick any spot on this map, let's say right here, there is a 10% chance that a strong tornado will occur within either 25 or 50 miles of that point. And that's a pretty good chance. It's either 25 or 50. I can't quite remember. But this does include several largely populated areas. Let's go through those here real quick. Folks, you guys that are in the potential for strong tornadoes tomorrow includes, but is not limited to, Madison, Wisconsin, Green Bay, Rochester, Minnesota, Appleton, Oshkosh, the 5%. So you guys are a step down, but still a possibility of a tornado. Milwaukee, Rockford, Cedar Rapids, Davenport, Kenosha. You guys could all see severe weather tomorrow. In fact, my house, which is located right about in here, has the potential to see a strong tornado tomorrow. So we might even find ourselves storm chasing in my neighborhood. We'll see about that. That would be very interesting. It's been a long time since that's happened. Now let's look at the other threats that aren't quite as alarming. The wind threat. This is the wind threat right here, guys. This big red circle, that's the 30%. So you've got the highest potential on anybody here, which is pretty similar to the tornado potential of seeing those gusty winds in excess of 60 to 70 miles per hour. And then tomorrow for the hail probabilities, we've got, again, that significant indicator. So if you live inside this red circle right in here, you've got the potential for seeing large hail over 2 inches and I guess I should say up to 2 inches or possibly a little bit greater. The possibility of 2-inch hail tomorrow in this area. So that's something that's definitely worth being mindful of. Now, I do want to go ahead and look at the convective allowing models for tomorrow. Let's look at the HRRR. Now, this is, once again, going to be just an idea of what we think radar might look like tomorrow. So take this, guys, very lightly. This can change, and it will change, and it does change very frequently. So we're going to give this model just a minute to load up. And what you're looking at right now is a view of the HRRR model's entire sweep. So this is starting now or within an hour from now, all the way through the next 48 hours. And what we're seeing here, I'm going to back this up a bit. I want to back this up here to a certain time. Here's Wednesday at 2 p.m. So this is tomorrow at 2 p.m. And the HRRR is resolving a couple of things here. We could have a cluster or a multi-cell cluster. Let me switch the color of this. Right up here near Eau Claire. That might have a potential for large hail gusty winds, but what we need to watch are these more isolated modes of severe storms down here. And we're going to progress them into the future here. Let's go 2 hours into the future past then. This is what the HRRR thinks is going to happen at 4 p.m. You can see we've got one big cluster up here. And we've got another big cluster right here moving off to the east. So guys, I think that I'm not sure. I don't think our tornado threat is peaked. I don't think that we're going to see a massive tornado outbreak, but we definitely could see several rounds of severe weather tomorrow, especially in the state of Wisconsin. The National Weather Service in Milwaukee was even mentioning that somewhere in this area tomorrow we could see some prefrontal storms develop with increased tornado potential. But we are seeing a squall line form here. Yes, that is the word of the year, is a squall line. And then moving off to the east later on tomorrow afternoon and evening. So that's what I'm seeing in terms of severe weather for tomorrow. I do believe that we have a pretty decent chance at seeing some stronger tornadoes tomorrow. But I'm not going to get into all the technicalities. I know a lot of people do. I'm not going to sit here and break down SCP and CAPE and SIND and 2-meter dew points and all that. I'm not going to do that for you guys because I know that nobody really cares. They just want to know where the storm's going to be. So we're probably going to be storm chasing tomorrow. Hang on. Let me bring up maps. I'm going to show you where I think we're going to be storm chasing tomorrow. If it loads. Okay. Oh my God, this internet is just terrible here. I really apologize. This is embarrassing. I think that we're going to be, I'm going to zoom in on the affected area. I think that if you are on this map right now, if you see yourself on this map of Wisconsin, I think that's where we're going to be tomorrow. I think that's where the focused area of severe weather is going to be. Take that with a grain of salt, but I think we're going to be storm chasing somewhere in this region tomorrow. Another thing that we need to look at is the heat. We have a major heat issue, believe it or not, happening. I want to take a look and show you guys tomorrow's high temperatures. This is going to occur for a couple of days now, but we've got heat watches, warnings, and advisories in effect for lots of the country. And once again, if this ever loads, it's ridiculous. So we're using pivotal weather right here. We could actually load this in Radar Omega. I forgot about that, but here's our high temperatures for tomorrow. Guys, 111 degrees in southern Arizona, 100 degrees in Texas, 80s in the Florida Peninsula, mid 80s in the Dakotas, the Rocky Mountains in the 80s, 95 in eastern Colorado. I'm seeing 88 degrees where we're going to be storm chasing tomorrow. It's going to be freaking hot. for the next few days. And this isn't the feels like temperatures. This isn't what it actually feels like. This is just what the thermometer is going to say. It is seriously going to be super freaking hot. If you work outside or you don't have an air conditioner, one, if you can afford it, go buy an air conditioner. If you can't, well, don't. Two, if you work outside tomorrow or the next few days, I apologize. Your life is going to suck. And that's all there is to it. It is going to be really freaking hot. And if you work outside, your life is seriously going to suck for the next few days. I'm not going to put this plainly or try to put it gently here, but that's just the truth. And I feel bad for you guys. I hope that you can find ways to stay cool. And if you don't have air conditioners, it's going to be really uncomfortable in your house. And I know not everybody can afford one. Not everybody has one. Not, things like that. And if that's the case, I'm sorry. I hope that maybe the stores still have air conditioners. But my God, if you don't have an air conditioner, it is going to be miserable. And that goes for you folks that don't have working AC in your cars. I know how that works. I've had the AC fail on me plenty of times. So definitely time to get the air conditioners out. I just got word that the National Weather Service issued a new severe thunderstorm watch. So let's see if we can pull that up here real quick. No. Okay. Let's just give this a second here. Hang on one second, guys. Let me flip you over. Hang on one second. Let me see if I can pull this up. Obviously, I don't want to pull my Twitter messages up here on screen. Let me see if I can get the severe thunderstorm watch off of Twitter. Anyway, thanks everybody for jumping in and watching. I see we've got quite a few people watching. And I just want to remind everyone that this is not a forecast that's set in stone. This is a very fluid forecast. And there's no reason to panic with any of this. Guys, I don't see a major outbreak of any sort happening. Everybody's saying that. Everybody's freaking out. There's no reason to panic. There's never any reason to panic. But it's definitely a day that we need to pay attention to. Let's save the panicking for when it's actually deserved. So hang on here. Let me switch back. Okay, here is the severe thunderstorm watch. This is the severe thunderstorm watch. This is valid until 4 a.m. Central Time tomorrow morning. Scattered hail up to 2 inches likely. Wind gusts 70 miles per hour are possible, and frequent lightning. This affects 2,600,003 people, 1,100 schools, and 94 hospitals. Again, this is for areas from I-80 in south central Nebraska all the way through Beatrice, Lincoln, Omaha, all the way through the I-80 corridor of Iowa, all the way up basically until I-35. So it does include Des Moines. And guys, I don't know if that includes the county that I am in or not. I don't know if I am officially under this severe thunderstorm watch or not. Let me see if I can pull it up on Radar Omega because I'm curious if I am in this watch. Oh God, how do I do that? I forget every time. There it is. Let's turn severe thunderstorm watches on. It probably has not loaded. It has not loaded yet. The Storm Prediction Center is a little bit slow pushing the watch place files out, so it's going to take a minute to get this loaded here. It might be on the website now, though. It is. See, this is what I'm talking about. It takes a minute to populate. But if we go back and look at that, like I said, if you're in this yellow area, that's a new severe thunderstorm. This watch that's in effect, and it is a higher end watch. It's for 70 mile per hour wind. And I'm going to go ahead and loop the radar here with 20 frames, and then I'm going to go through the chat, which I have to do on my phone because this is all screwed up. And I'll answer any questions you guys have, and then we're going to go to Quick Trip. I don't know if I'm going to take the stream with or not. That'd be kind of weird. God, I hope the quality on this is okay. Okay. So my chat on this phone, my second phone here, does not work very well. It's very slow. Okay, I see a crap ton of super chats. First first of all, thanks everybody for the super chats. Always appreciated. They do keep us on the road. If you're new here, we do live storm chasing. And we will be in the field tomorrow. We're not in the field right now just because it's really not much reason to be, honestly. But no, seriously, guys, thank you so much for all the super chats. I'm trying to scroll back through and read them all. Yawn. Yeah, I know. I try to be boring for you, buddy. Gotta be. But that's okay. It's better than spam. If anybody knows the backstory about the super chats and the spam, they probably laugh. Our top super chatter there, our best friend here on YouTube, has been muted before because he sent a super chat and wrote spam in it, and a moderator misunderstood it. So, you guys, if anybody sends a super chat, it's kind of a running joke. If you want to go ahead and type spam in there, that's always great. You get bonus points for that. But no, seriously, thank you everybody who's done that. Trying to get this word out because there's not a lot of attention being given to this. I've been talking to a couple of meteorologist friends that work for a news station in Madison, Wisconsin, which is my local market, and they made comment that they've been trying to push it in some of their newscasts, but it's like people just aren't catching on, even with social media. People just don't seem to know. It's like in Wisconsin, we don't see these strong tornado outbreaks often, so a lot of people just kind of blow it off. When am I taking Nikki on a chase? I don't know. Probably not tomorrow, unfortunately. You're in Omaha? Yeah. If you're in Omaha, I think you're going to miss out. A lot of these, well, maybe not. I see we just won severe thunderstorm warning. Since we have somebody in chat in Omaha right there, we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning back here for York, and that is moving off to the northeast. So if you're in Omaha, yeah, you might get some gusty wind and large hail tonight. Brian Dukes? No, it was not, but I do know Brian, kind of. Blaze Edwards is another guy up there. They're really nice. Channel 27, they're awesome. But yeah, Brian, I think Brian's on. God, is Brian on channel 15 now? I can't remember. He's either on 15 or 27. Just going through the chat here, guys. Yeah, Wisconsin has had some strong tornadoes in the past, actually. That is true. It's been a while. I think the last really substantial tornado was that Stoughton tornado back in like 2018 or something like, or 2008 or something stupid like that. Dan, yeah, we probably could pick you up. Nino, Wisconsin, I know where that is. Yeah, definitely pay attention. You're probably going to get any of this later, though. Well, maybe not. It depends where this broken line of storms develops tomorrow. You actually might get in on it mid-afternoon. Northern Illinois, you could still get in on this as well. Nazis, something, okay. Okay. Getting the AC in your truck fixed. Yeah, that's definitely a good call. Madison and Sun Prairie areas, yes, you're in the middle of that significant tornado risk, and we'll visit that again before we go off. Andy wants to know when I'm going to be at his doorstep. I'll kick the NWS Mets out and give you a call. Appleton, yeah, you guys in Appleton, if you're east of that Madison to Wausau line along the interstate there, you're probably going to get this later on in the evening. He's on 15. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I'm still going through the chat. I'm like entertained by half the stuff in here. Normally I would have this showing up on screen, but of course nothing works. You live in Milwaukee and you blah, blah, blah. The lake protects us. Yeah, it never does. Milwaukee and Chicago, that same area there. Milwaukee, hang on, guys. I can't remember. Milwaukee, I think you're in the 10% still. Let me put the severe weather risk on real quick here. We've got someone in the chat asking about Milwaukee, and I know you're in the 5%, but I thought for some reason that you guys might be in that 10%. Regardless, it doesn't really matter what percent you're in. Yeah, Milwaukee, guys. Here's the thing with these SPC outlooks. You know, obviously, and I'm not talking down on anybody, but you know, this sharp cutoff here, it's not like read. It's not like storms are going to hit this and then all of a sudden, bam, the tornado potential goes away. We might see a strong tornado out here in Muskegon. I have no idea, but they don't always follow the SPC guidelines. But I guess what I'm getting at is, if you're in Milwaukee, you're so close to this 10%, you might as well just consider yourself in it. In fact, honestly, anybody in this 5% should really be prepared possibly for a tornado tomorrow and just have a way to receive those warnings. But if you are in Milwaukee, seriously have a way to receive a warning tomorrow, because that is a heavily populated area, and especially if you're caught out on the road or something during a tornado warning, things can get pretty miserable. Cambridge, Ontario. Oh boy, now we're getting out of my geographical limits here. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not 100% sure where Cambridge is. However, our Storm Prediction Center outlooks only cover the U.S. There are some Canadian ones, and I will start doing some Canadian forecasting here soon. But I think that this severe weather event is going to be confined mostly to Wisconsin. But we do chase in Canada, so we do need to start covering that. You would get a bunch. Somebody commented about the old countywide warnings. Yeah, back before they did the polygon warnings. Yes, I'm sure anybody over the age of like 10 remembers that. Well, actually, no, probably over the age of 20. So it was about 10 years ago they started issuing the polygons. So that they don't issue warnings for the entire county, because you might have a storm in the southwest part of the county. So why warn the whole county? So there are severe thunderstorm watch did pop up here, guys. It's this pink outline box. I'm going to leave the radar on that for a minute. Are all the chasers staying at my house? Absolutely not. They better not be. Bob Lindmeyer is still at 27. Last I knew. He's doing something behind the scenes, I guess. I don't know, but I think he's still actually there. 2005 was Stone. Okay. Storms in Minnesota. Yeah, possibly, guys. If you have any of these pretty colors on this map tomorrow, you might see some storms. And of course, subject to change. Could the UP have a significant tornado threat? Yeah. So that's this yellow circle right here. Come on. Yeah, the UP has a potential for tornadoes there. That's that blue circle. That's part of the UP that's got the strongest portion. I'll zoom in on that this tornado graphic here for you. Des Moines, same thing. You guys are down here. You're on the tail edge of it. I don't think that there's much of a tornado threat for Des Moines tomorrow. Bosqueville did have the EF3 last year. Okay, so funny story. It was Nikki's baby shower that day, and we missed the Bosqueville tornado by 20 minutes because we were going to leave the baby shower. We actually took both our kids. Well, we took our one daughter with she was 5 at the time. I wasn't going to drive her into the tornado or anything, but we took her with. So anyway, she's fine. We missed the tornado by 20 minutes because I couldn't get there because we had her baby shower. In fact, we actually packed everything up at the baby shower, and she had went home, and I was still at the park that we had that packing everything up. And I called her and I said, well, you better get your ass ready to get in the car because we're leaving. And we packed up quick and we got there. If I would have been paying attention to the radar app on my phone, we would have left 20 minutes sooner and probably seen that Bosqueville tornado. Wausau, yeah, you're definitely in the risk as well. I think you're going to see that risk mid-afternoon. Lots of people asking about Northern Illinois. Kind of, if you're north of I-80 and I-88, you do have a tornado threat, but otherwise just kind of a general severe thunderstorm threat. And I can't really go through every town that's coming through here, but if you see yourself on this map, if you're in the yellow, you've got the best risk of seeing a tornado, possibly a strong one. The brown and the green, you have a lesser risk, but it's still a risk. Are me and Ryan good friends? I think so. I am way back in the chat, aren't I? Oh, man, I feel stupid. I didn't realize I was so far back in the chat. Let me come down here a little bit. Kids are good tornado sensitive. True. Let's see. You got Radar Omega and you bought, but you can't figure it out completely. If you're in our Discord, we do. I think we do something for Radar Omega in our Discord, Virginia. Otherwise, Radar Omega is working on creating a video series, a tutorial of how to use the app. So stand by on that. We'll try to help you. Somebody complaining about Dan. Yeah, he's a real mean one. Am I going to chase any of these cells tonight? Yeah, if something happens here, we'll do an impromptu storm chase real quick and dirty. Just get out the door, look at some lightning. Timing for tomorrow. Yeah, so I think that our severe weather threat is going to peak around dinner time. And I know I'm being vague, and I'm being vague for a reason, because as weather forecasters and meteorologists and storm chasers, we're wrong a lot, especially with timing. Not always intensity, but timing. For example, like hurricanes, we're really good at intensity, but we're not always the best at like timing and track. Or actually, technically it's the other way around, but regardless, either way. The models have been back and forth a little bit. 3 kilometer NAM, HRRR, the convective lowing models. Haven't looked at much of the RAP analysis or anything, but I think that the farther west you are, the sooner, obviously. So I would say around lunchtime, if you're farther west, I'm going to highlight an area on the screen here. If you're over here around lunchtime, you need to start being weather aware. It should be all day. But as it pushes off to the east, time will progress on later and later. And this is kind of the dividing line right here for me, guys, from my house. So from Monroe, Wisconsin, Freeport, Illinois area, all the way up through northern Wisconsin, basically right along the interstate there, going up through Madison. If you're west of here, it's going to be a little bit earlier. If you're east of here, it's going to be a little bit later, like around dinner time. But I'm not going to get into specific times because I've got just a really bad feeling about the models on this event. I don't know what it is, but I feel like the timing on this just isn't right. So I don't know. A lot. There's been some hints that it's going to be an earlier in the day event, but I'm just instinct tells me a little bit later. But I don't want to get into timing, guys, because I don't want to be wrong. But once lunchtime starts coming around, that's when you need to make sure you have your weather radios on, your phones, whatever. Have a way to receive those warnings. If you've got grandparents or parents, somebody that doesn't have technology, that just has a landline or just has a flip phone or something, make sure they know what's going on. Council Bluffs, Iowa. Yep. Been through there not too long. What about La Crosse? La Crosse, you're right in the middle of this too. You're kind of lumped in. I lump you guys in with the Rochester. You're in that 10% significant tornado also. Is Reed balding? I don't think so. I don't think so. Who's my best friend in this business? It's definitely Reed. He's a good guy. Did Ryan get me a chainsaw? No, he did not. However, I'm going to be buying a chainsaw because I'm not dealing with that tree down garbage. That's ridiculous. Because I should have purchased a chainsaw when I started storm chasing. I don't know why I didn't. Channel 27 in Madison. Yep, they are good. Yeah, good friends up there. I like those guys. Ryan Hall. I have no idea who that is. You got Omega app on the PC. Awesome. And I'm going to go through the chat for just one more minute, and then we're going to kind of wrap this up. But I just wanted to get some of this info out here. Dan's going bald. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, kind of like our chase down there near Roswell that night when I looked at radar and all of a sudden it was there. Dinner time is a wide spectrum. Exactly. That's why I say that. Yeah, a lot of people asking about La Crosse. Yeah, you guys you're in the thick of it too. You're going to experience the severe weather threat earlier than anybody else. You guys, especially southeast Minnesota, northwest or northeast Iowa, Rochester down to Waterloo, points northeast. You guys are going to see the severe weather first because this stuff's going to develop in the west and then track to the east as it usually does. Yeah, Madison was pretty crazy yesterday. Some hail and everything. Do you think they will change the SPC? I think they're going to stick with this outlook. They might add a moderate, maybe for wind, maybe, but I don't necessarily see a moderate happening, but I wouldn't be surprised. But either way, treat it as if it's a high risk because you just never know. The reason that like I wasn't in the Kansas City area, it's just timing. Obviously, I can't be in more than one place at once, and you'll find that a lot with storm chasers this time of the year. For example, yesterday there was a tornado or a tornadic supercell that didn't produce a tornado, but it was a beautiful cell that I would have loved to be on. That was in Chicago, but from the day before, I was still in North Dakota, and a lot of it's just driving. The drive time between targets is really rough. Do I think morning convection could limit the threat? Possibly, but guys, I don't think it's going to make or break it, but it could lessen the threat. And I don't know if we're going to have any issues with morning convection or cloud cover or anything like that. But first thing in the morning, the first thing I always do on storm chase days is look at observations, and then of course look at satellite. And if it looks like there's just a ton of rain and everything is socked in with really really thick clouds, then yeah, we start thinking that we might limit the severe threat just a little bit. Let's see here. North Atlanta seeing a strong storm. Yeah, so Atlanta, Georgia tomorrow is right on that northern risk of severe weather down there. Let me pan the map back down to that real quick before we end the stream, just to show you guys what's going on. Wait a minute. Oh, that's today. Whoops. I was going to say something got messed up. So this is the risk on top of radar. So obviously asking about Atlanta right here. Atlanta, you're on that northern extent of it. I don't. 10-4 Don, thanks. Must be watching at Radar Omega HQ where it's 80 degrees. But anyway, this is that cutoff line where we really expect the more populated severe storms. But you could see some severe storms north of Atlanta. But I think the primary, the heart of the severe weather tomorrow in the southeast is going to be like Montgomery into the Columbus area. I think right in the middle there into Macon, that's where we're going to see the most severe weather down there. Roswell was a lot of fun. Yes. My God, we have a ton in the chat here. We might make it to Madison. That's a possibility. How do you view future radar on the Radar Omega app? Okay, so here's how you can do it on the desktop here. If you're at, you go to the menu, the little hamburger button up here, and then go to the drop down, you go to models, and then convective allowing, usually it stays RRR or whatever. And then you go down here to the bottom, and then you would put it on like composite reflectivity. It's very similar on your phone. All right, I'm scrolling through this super fast. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. So I'm going to give everybody a real quick once over again, and thanks for following along in this impromptu live stream. I actually kind of like how this worked. We should start doing this more often. The reason we're going to wrap this up is because my battery is about to die in one of these devices, and I have to go out and get the charger. And I honestly don't think that I can get out of this maze of a hotel and get to the charger and get back here before it dies. And if it dies, then we're going to have some problems. So real quick, folks, if you live in this darker orange circle right here inside the blue line tomorrow, most of Wisconsin, you have the greatest risk out of anybody in the country, possibly even the world tomorrow, at seeing a tornado. Now, that doesn't mean freak out. That just means that you do have an elevated risk or an enhanced risk of possibly a strong tornado tomorrow. If we do see a tornado form, it could be strong. If you're in the yellow, the slight risk, you do have a tornado risk, as does anybody in this light green as well, but it's not as great. It's the slight risk. You're more looking at a wind hail threat, possibly a tornado, but not as widespread, as well as you folks down here in the southeast. Again, a slight risk, maybe some isolated severe storms, wind and hail, not really much of a tornado threat down here. But be weather aware and prepared. So that's all we're going to yap about tomorrow. Real quick, one more once over at what's going on tonight. We have a severe thunderstorm watch. That's these pink counties, the pink outlined counties here, Kearney and Hayes, all the way up toward Waterloo, where we are right now. we've got some severe thunderstorms. There's one right now that's back here near York, one that's here to the south of I-80, south between Kearney and Lincoln, and then we've got this one here approaching Des Moines. Those are our three hot spots right now. Let's go ahead and cover those. Right here, this one for Atlantic, Iowa. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning for Cass County, Audubon, and Adair County until 10:30 p.m. These are central times now. The severe thunderstorm is near Elliott, Iowa. That's 17 miles to the southwest of Atlantic, and it is cruising off to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. And that is for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and half-dollar size hail. So that's a little bit bigger than 1 inch. I think that's 1.25 inches or something real similar to that. It might actually be 1.5. I'm not sure. But that is this guy right here. And again, Red Oak and Atlantic cruising off to the northeast. It eventually could impact areas like Ames, Ankeny, Des Moines within the next several hours. But I think that the severe threat is going to lessen or decrease as the night goes on. We've also got this severe thunderstorm warning back here for the town of York, Nebraska. That's expires in 28 minutes. The latest update was from 10 minutes ago. So at 9:39, again, Central Time, there was a severe storm. It was over the town of York, and it was moving at 40 miles per hour to the northeast. And that's for ping pong ball sized hail. One more severe thunderstorm warning here. This expires in 40 minutes. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for Nuckolls County and Webster County in southern Nebraska. And that goes until 10:30 p.m. And the latest update on that was just a couple of minutes ago. So at 9:40, a severe thunderstorm was near Cowles, which is 27 miles south of Hastings. And that thing was moving east at 25 miles an hour. Half-dollar size hail threat on that. And that will be near Nelson at 10:20 p.m. We were in Nelson actually just the other night, storm chasing. So once again, to recap, possible tornadoes tomorrow in Wisconsin. Be weather aware. I'll be live streaming. Also, it's going to be really freaking hot. So if you don't have air conditioning, I feel bad for you. The entire Canas is pretty much going to have heat. It's going to be really, really hot for the next couple of days. 100-degree plus heat indices. So if you work outside, I'm sorry, but your life is going to be terrible if you work outside. So make sure your employers, make sure you got water and all that in places to cool off, because this heat's serious. People do get injured and people do die from heat stroke. It is a leading killer when it comes to weather-related injuries. Anyway, on top of that, not really expecting anything major out of this severe weather event tonight. If these storms do go severe when they approach Waterloo, which is where I'm at right now, and it's now dark out, if they do approach and it's worth streaming, I'll stream. But it would probably be like 2 o'clock in the morning. How do I minimize this? I don't know what I'm doing. Stand by. Nope, not that. That. Okay. So guys, I appreciate everybody who has, like I said, been part of this kind of impromptu live stream with me. Let me see what we've got for views. We've managed to get about almost 10,000 views on this video here, and I really appreciate that. We've got some awesome people. Thank you, everyone, for the super chats. Now they're coming through on the computer, and the computer is literally going nuts trying to resolve what's going on. So anybody who sent a super chat, channel membership, anything like that, at any point, whether it's today, well, that doesn't make any sense. Today, yesterday, or at any point in your lifetime to myself or honestly any content creator on YouTube, thank you, because what we do out here does cost money. There's a big thing going on YouTube. There's some kid that's freaking out because I'm rich and all this and I'm taking people's money. Guys, not the case. All right. Myself and Nikki choose to live a cheaper lifestyle because it allows us to save for the future, but we invest a ton of money back into this. Because it's really expensive to be doing this. So we appreciate it. And trust me, just simply viewing and pushing the like button or sharing whatever is appreciated. You guys make this possible. If you like this live stream, which I'm assuming you do, because we're pulling just as many views talking about the weather and talking about Dan or something being bald, I don't know, as we do when we're live streaming storm chases. So I might start doing daily live streams again, talking about severe weather. I will be live tomorrow, probably sometime afternoon. My friend Ryan Hall, he's going to be live as well from Kentucky, doing weather updates with multiple storm chasers. He will have my stream, and I'm sure a couple of others. But I will have my stream live here on YouTube, and I think we're going to try streaming to Twitch also tomorrow. Other than that, like I said, if you like this, leave some feedback. We do have a Discord. You can jump in Discord, leave feedback on that, but I will try to do this more. Be weather aware tomorrow. Subscribe on Twitter and Facebook, and I will update you guys with some graphics tonight. And at midnight or 1 a.m. Central, we will have a new Storm Prediction Center outlook. So if any major changes happen, I will update you. Until then, we might have a stream later tonight, storm chasing, but no guarantees. Thanks, everybody, for super chatting. Unfortunately, I can't really go through the chat much longer. I got to go. I'm going to get something to eat. I was going to take you with, but the battery's going to die. So have a good night, everybody, and thanks again for making this possible.